For centuries, deep-sea fishermen across Norway and Japan and Portugal caught something remarkable in their deepest.
Somewhere beneath the surface of the world's deepest oceans, the secret to this jar was living. This is squalene, the rarest molecule in luxury skincare, and its journey begins 2,000 meters below sea level.
It sells in over 6 countries, and that in some markets, a single jar cost more than a week's salary.
In my right hand is the final product. In my left is where the journey begins. Today, we will show every single step of what happens in between.
For centuries, deep-sea fishermen across Norway and Japan and Portugal caught something remarkable in their deepest. These sharks carry in their livers a compound so efficient at regulating buoyancy that it made deep ocean survival possible. A deep-sea shark's liver can make up 60% of its total body weight, and that up to 80% of that liver is pure squalene oil. For over a century, the cosmetics industry has known about squalene, but that it took decades of refinement before it could become what is found.
Squalene is structurally identical to the sebum produced by healthy, young human skin, and that this is why the skin recognizes it immediately.
How something this ancient, from somewhere this deep, ends up in a jar this elegant. The North Atlantic and the Pacific deep water zones and the Norwegian Sea are the hunting grounds for the deep-sea shark fleets that supply the world's squalene industry. Specialized longlines extend 2,000 meters below the surface, targeting species like Centrophorus squamosus and Squalus acanthius. When the line comes up, it brings sharks from a world of total darkness, adapted to extreme pressure and cold, and no light whatsoever.
Bridges. After 4 to 7 days at sea, the vessels return to port, and the cold-stored livers are offloaded immediately, because
every container is sealed, temperature logged, and tracked by GPS from the moment it leaves the vessel until it arrives at the processing facility. The facility operates 24 hours, and the receiving bay is always staffed. When a shipment arrives, the cold chain cannot be entries. Before a single drop of liver oil enters production, every batch is logged and inspected and assigned a traceability. The first step is mechanical disruption, where the liver tissue is crushed to break open the cell walls and release the oil locked inside the cellular matrix. Controlled heat, precisely calibrated to avoid degrading the squalene molecule, gently renders the liver paste, causing the oil to liquefy and begin separating from the cellular debris. Industrial centrifugation separates the oil fraction from the water content and the solid cellular debris, and the output is crude shark liver oil carrying a high functions. Before squalene can become skincare, the crude oil must pass through multiple cellular degumming removes phospholipids and other hydrophilic impurities from the crude oil. These compounds would interfere with downstream purification and affect the final product stability. Alkali refining neutralizes the free fatty acids present in the crude oil, converting them to soap stocks that can be mechanically. Bleaching with activated earth absorbs the remaining color compounds and oxidation products and trace metals, and the oil's color shifts from amber toward the near colorless state. Steam deodorization under high vacuum removes volatile odor compounds and any remaining fatty acid traces.
Molecular distillation operating at extreme vacuum and precisely controlled temperatures separates squalene from the other lipid components based on molecular.
Every batch of isolated squalene is tested by gas chromatography before it moves to the next stage, and that purity must meet the specification before production continues.
Squalene is hydrogenated and saturated with hydrogen molecules to produce squalane. This makes the compound completely.
The squalane produced in the refinery is now handed to the cosmetic chemists, who are the team responsible for building the luxury serum formula around this core active ingredient. The water phase carries the hydrophilic active ingredients, among them pharmaceutical-grade hyaluronic acid, which will be suspended in the final emulsion alongside the squalane. The squalane enters the oil phase at elevated temperature, combining with the emulsifier system and complementary lipid actives that will carry it into the skin's lipid barrier. High shear homogenization forces the oil phase and water phase to merge at the molecular scale, creating the stable oil and water emulsion that will become the cream's base structure. Heat-sensitive actives, including the peptide complex and botanical concentrates, are added only after the emulsion has cooled below 40. The pH of the final cream is calibrated to match the skin's natural acid mantle, which is a slightly acidic environment that maximizes squalane absorption. Once approved, the cream batch is transferred to the filling line through a closed sterile transfer that eliminates any risk of contamination between the manufacturer and the packaging operations. An induction-sealed foil membrane beneath the lid creates the tamper-evident barrier, and that no customer can open this jar without breaking a seal that has been in place since the factory. The gold embossing is applied by precision hot foil transfer, requiring exact pressure, temperature, and dwell time for a flawless finish. This batch code links every unit to its complete supply chain history, all the way back to the specific fishing vessel and the exact date of catch. Cases are destined for distribution centers across 60 countries, from high street pharmacy chains to the private label counters of the world's luxury department stores. A senior quality officer formally releases the batch against a complete specification review. This signature, the finished goods warehouse holds millions of units at any given time, with inventory flowing continuously from production into the global distribution network. Each truck that leaves this facility carries a portion of an ocean's chemistry, refined and formulated, and packaged into something a person will open. Air-freighted shipments ensure product freshness and inventory continuity in demanding luxury markets like Tokyo, Dubai, Paris, and New York.
She does not know about the centrifuge, or the deodorization column, or the cold chain containers, or the long line 2000. Every morning, millions of people around the world begin their day with something that began its life in the deepest and darkest part of the ocean. At the point of retail, the journey from deep ocean to display shelf is complete, a journey that began 2,000 meters below the surface of the sea.
From a single facility, over 12 million units are produced annually, serving customers in over 6 countries, all of it beginning with a liver from a frilled shark from the deep. The sustainability of deep-sea shark harvesting is a real and ongoing concern. Plant-based and sugarcane plant-derived squalane produced through fermentation of sugarcane or olive waste is chemically identical to the shark-derived compound, and that the molecule—
What began 2,000 meters below the ocean surface in the liver of a deep-sea shark passes through 17 distinct industrial processes before it reaches your hands. Want to know how the world's most extraordinary things are made, from the deepest oceans to the highest shelves? This is where you find out. Facto Vibe.